Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is Mac.
And this is our review of the Aki 2020 Banzuke. Gonna give a little heads up. I've been a little bit preoccupied with something else in my life right now, so I did not have as much time to kind of dig through this, find interesting stats, and write down my thoughts as I typically do. So a lot of this stuff is just going to be coming off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's kind of the case for the whole team right now.
I was about to say, like, you've pretty much just summed up everything we have done. Sometimes we do work, but a lot of this stuff we make up as we go.
Sometimes you do work, Mac. I'm prepared for this podcast.
As far as people on lockdown goes, it's been a very busy month for our team.
Yes.
It has. But I do understand it, Mac. It sounds like you gave your program, you reworked your program a little bit to predict the Banzuke. And so you have a prediction yourself that we're going to go through a little bit as well.
Yes, I think it has improved. At least I hope it has.
Yeah, and I have, my pride can feel a lot better because if there's any parts where you did better than me, it wasn't you, it was a computer. Whereas it's all me.
Hey, now wait a minute.
It's my judgments placing things. So if
I am tweaking this.
It's a computer program, it doesn't count.
Shut up.
Regardless, though, Mac did get pretty close to the pure human judgment version that Ryan put together. Do you want to do stats now, or should we go through the order?
We'll go through the order and then hit the stats at the end. I think people care more about what the actual Banzuke placement is and how people ended up than how we did in our predictions.
Bold of you to assume anyone is listening to this or cares.
I have it on good authority. A lot of people like these episodes.
Your own authority, perhaps?
Probably.
Very good authority.
Aha!
The highest authority I know.
All right, continue.
We will continue, and we'll start with the Yokozuna. We should honestly just save them for the last because they're just always so boring. It's Hakuho on the east, Kakuryu on the west.
Shocker.
For the Ozeki, we have confirmation that for the second consecutive Basho, we will have the same two Ozeki. It's a miracle, ladies and gentlemen. It hasn't happened in over a year and a half. But I don't have to talk about anybody being promoted, anybody being demoted. It's just Asanoyama as your East Ozeki and Takakeisho as your West Ozeki, as Asanoyama had a better record than Takakeisho.
Yeah, they did throw us a bit of a bone there, and they at least switched sides.
Yes.
That is true.
At Sekiwake, East 1 Sekiwake. That's right. We need to throw in numbers at the Sekiwake rank. We have Shodai. West 1, we have Mitake Yumi. And East 2, as I predicted, we have Daisho at his career high rank, getting his first career Basho as a Sekiwake.
Now, this is where my program didn't take this into account. What the heck is going on here? You think I listened to you guys on the preview? You're wrong. How can you have 3 Sekiwake?
No, the preview is exclusively for like high tier sumo fans that really want to dive deep into the nuts and bolts of sumo. It's not for the casuals. So no, I don't expect you to pay attention to that.
Yeah, Mac, you'll get there someday.
I hate you so much.
No, so what's going on there is we've seen 3 Sekiwake happen in the past, but typically that's been from an Ozeki that is dropping, and like you just can't demote the other Sekiwake because they had winning records. So that means that new Ozeki has to make a third Sekiwake slot. That is not the case this time. What happens every once in a while, and it's been a little while since we've seen this, if your Komosubi has a fantastic record, and Daisho, an 11-4 record, is a fantastic record. Couple of Fusen wins in there, but still, obviously, the Banzuke committee saw fit that he did well enough to deserve this. If you have like a 10-5 or 11-4, but the other Sekiwake had winning records, so they can't be bumped down, they still deem your record as good enough of deserving the rank of Sekiwake. So they create that extra slot, which is what happened for Daisho here, who had his best career Basho, and he got rewarded for it by jumping up to the Sekiwake rank.
Aha. Okay, good to know. Making a note.
But those 2 Fusens the fact that there's 2 Fusen wins and he's Sekiwake 2 means that we still have plenty of ammunition to give him crap.
Oh, totally. No. This does nothing to redeem him.
I'm kind of on the Daisho hype train a little bit at this point.
Maybe
you guys can crap on him all you want, but the man beat an assumedly healthy Hakuho. I mean, maybe he was the one who hurt him. I don't know, but he's been looking good. I'm keeping my eye on Daisho.
Good.
I certainly, yeah. I mean, by all means, we'll keep our eye on him, and he potentially can. I don't know if he keeps doing this level of performance. He can maybe even get higher than Sekiwake, but. I don't know. To me, the fact that he's Daisho just overrules it. Maybe he's just my Shodai or something.
But yeah, it very well could be that.
I want to be surprised. Put it that way. I want him to surprise me and actually do well.
Yeah. So we'll drop down to the Komusubi rank, where for the first time in his career, Okinoumi will be in the Sanyaku ranks for 2 consecutive basho, as he will be your East Komusubi, and Endo will be dipping his toe into the Komusubi waters. Once again, we'll see if he can make it stick. Spoiler, probably not. But those are your 2 Komusubi for this basho. And up till this point, all of my predictions have been correct. So I'm perfect 9 for 9. So there's that, but the Sanyaku ranks are usually the easiest to predict.
Yeah, Okinoumi, this is his first time that he ever got a winning record in the Sanyaku. So yeah, like you said, 2 times in a row. Endo has in the past gotten an 8 and 7 from Komusubi West. So it wouldn't be the first time if he made it stick, but he has never been able to make it over to Komusubi East. So that's a weird ceiling for him to be that specifically nailed down. But if the same Daisho and Okinoumi show up again, he'll probably be in the same spot he continues to occupy and just get bumped down to the Joy again.
Yep, it'll be his 5th overall basho as a Komusubi. As you pointed out, Komusubi West only getting a winning record there once, it looks like. So we'll see what happens with Endo. I have very low expectations. So let's move on to the Zone of Death, where we kind of have our first surprise. Actually, I don't think it was a surprise to Mac, because according to his program, I think he nailed this one. But Teruno Fuji jumping all the way up from Maegashira 17 to Maegashira 1 East. He is going to be knocking on the door of the Sanyaku ranks. And this is a bit of a surprise, because we had Tokushoryu in January win the Yusho from the Maegashira 17 rank, and he only climbed up to Maegashira 2, and he even had a better record than Teruno Fuji did. And I kind of went over on the preview why I expected Teruno Fuji just to fall at the M2 rank. But yeah, a little surprised to see Teruno Fuji here as the top Rikishi. I'm assuming he's just kind of getting the benefit of the doubt. It's like, yeah, you're a former Ozeki. Welcome back. Here's where you belong.
He did have a little bit stronger schedule, I think, than Tokushoryu did. When we talked about it plenty, but when Tokushoryu got that boost, he really only faced like a withering Takakeisho. Yeah. Whereas Teruno Fuji, his schedule didn't get tough until towards the end, of course. But he did have 2 Sekiwake and 1 Ozeki match, and Asanoyama being the 1 Ozeki match is a lot better of a win than Tokushoryu's win over that injured Takakeisho.
Exactly.
Well, kind of what happened with this basho, we're diving into the weeds here, but hey, this is an unscripted episode, so to the weeds we go. They didn't really have a whole lot of well-performing Sanyaku members for him to go up against at that point. Both the Yokozuna were gone in January. Komusubi both had losing records. The Sekiwake, one was an Asanoyama 10 and 5, but the other one was Takayasu with a losing record. Goedo had a losing record. So Tokushoryu, the final few days of that basho, he was facing the guys with the best records. That just happened to be an M4 Shodai or a M9 Yutakayama, who he beat. But he just didn't have that opportunity to face that same Sanyaku schedule as Teruno Fuji did, because it would have been pointless for him to face them, because those guys weren't in the Banzuke race. He was going up against the other people in the Yusho race.
Fair enough. The last 5 days for Teruno Fuji this time around, though, everybody had at least 10 wins.
Yes.
Tochinoshin was a 10 win. Tamawashi 10 wins. Asanoyama 12. Shodai and Mitakeumi 11, and he went 4-1 in those. So yeah, I think the Tamawashi and Tochinoshin wins are important too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna have any hurt feelings that he got a better promotion than Tokushoryu, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense when you think of it from the standpoint of Terunofuji is a former Ozeki, and they maybe just want to kind of fast track his return if possible. But yeah, just by kind of like the numbers and the comparison to January, a bit of a surprise there. And so on the west side of Maegashira 1 rank, we're going to have Takanosho there. This will be his career high rank, as he was previously Maegashira 2 in the last Basho. And I thought he was going to be the top ranked Maegashira, but just off by which side he is on for this prediction.
Mac is still perfect so far.
Yep, I'm doing okay.
Going down to Mac's computer is perfect.
Yes, my machines. It's perfect so far.
Let's go down to Maegashira 2, where on the east side, we will have Hokuto Fuji, and on the west side, we will have Tamawashi. So Hokuto Fuji is jumping up 3 ranks after his 9-6 record at Maegashira 5, and Tamawashi is jumping up 6 ranks after his 10-5 record from Maegashira 9. I got Tamawashi exactly correct. Hokuto Fuji, I had him at Maegashira 1 West.
Hey, Ryan, how'd I do?
I'm guessing you're probably perfect so far.
You are correct. Oh, well, I'm
Attaboy.
sorry. My computer is correct.
Attaboy. There you go. Give the credit where credit is due.
Fine.
The credit where it's due is not to Mac.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
Yeah. So Tamawashi getting a bit of a bigger jump than you might expect for a 10-5 record. But as we discussed on the preview episode, there's just so many people at the top Maegashira ranks that had to drop down from the rankings and that they couldn't land at this point. And then there was nobody in the Sanyaku ranks that could drop down to fill these ranks. So we have to pull people up from further down the Banzuke than we might expect. It just was a little bit more extreme than I was thinking. So we're going to get into this with some other people, but people are dropping a lot less than I thought they would, and people are rising in some cases a bit further than I thought they would. I think what I mostly missed on this one is people dropped a lot less than I thought they would in some cases, and we'll get to those in a little bit, but not at Maegashira 3, where I exactly correctly predicted this rank. On the east side, we will have Miyagiryu jumping up 7 ranks from Maegashira 10 to Maegashira 3 after a 10-5 record. Sorry, I think I said Tamawashi 6 ranks. He jumped up 7 ranks from Maegashira 9 to Maegashira 2.
You were on a roll. I wasn't going to stop you.
Yeah, it sounded good.
And Teretsuyoshi jumping up 4 ranks after just an 8-7 record from Maegashira 7. He is going to be at his career high, and I believe this will be his first foray into the zone of death. So we'll see how Teretsuyoshi does against the Sanyaku ranks. Maybe he'll be able to repeat his performance against Asanoyama. Maybe he'll just do Ashitoris against all 9 of our Sanyaku Rikishi.
Oh, God, that'd be awesome. But yes, it is definitely his first foray this high. His previous Maegashira 7 was also a career high at the time.
Okay. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how Teretsuyoshi does from there. And once again, 8-7 up 4 ranks. That's just lack of people to fill those spots otherwise. So you're pulling people up further than you would think they would. And then our last rank in the zone of death or the joy is going to be Maegashira 4 East, where you have Yutakayama only dropping 3 ranks after a 5-10 record from Maegashira 1. So that's kind of the second surprise for me is how not far Yutakayama dropped here. I really figured he would drop down 5. And I think as we go through this, you're going to see a lot more preferential treatment for higher ranked Rikishi than even we've seen in the past. So I tried to take that into account when I created my Banzuke, but it just seemed there's even more preferential treatment than we kind of seen in the past. So Yutakayama, a benefactor of that, only dropping 3 ranks after a 5-10 record, where you usually expect 4 to 5 there. So we will move on to the mid Banzuke section. Some of these guys at the top of this section are going to face the Sanyaku Rikishi, as like Takanosho can't face Takakeisho. So if Takakeisho fights a whole Basho, he'll need to drop down to face like Maegashira 4 West Tochinoshin. But yeah, most of these guys will not face the Sanyaku Rikishi. But as I said, Maegashira 4 West, we will have Tochinoshin jumping up 7 ranks again. That seems to be the magic number for the Rikishi that got 10 and 5 on this Banzuke. So he was at Maegashira 11, jumping up to Maegashira 4 with a 10 and 5 record. At Maegashira 5 on the east side, we are going to have Kiri Bayama, who is going to be dropping down 2 ranks after a 6 and 9 record. And we are going to have Takada Fuji, who is only dropping 2 ranks after a 5 and 10 record. It baffles me.
Yeah. There's going to be a couple of these pretty much right in a row that are just shocking to me.
Yeah, but I might have to give Max Computer some credit because I think you got Takada Fuji at the Maegashira 5 rank.
I did, but he was off by 1. I had him at East.
You had him at the
instead
East
of
side.
West. Yep, so I was off by 1.
Yeah, I'll need to have you explain that computer program to me at some point to kind of figure out how you predicted such a small drop for somebody with that kind of record. So I don't know. Maybe I was just being overly mean.
Well, yeah, Ryan, you were also only 1 slot off, but you were expecting him to go 1 slot further down.
Yeah, here's the thing. I am throughout this entire Banzuke, my biggest miss is only going to be by a rank and a half. So I have no huge misses here. What it is just a bunch of small misses. And so like Takada Fuji, I had him at Maegashira 6 East instead of Maegashira 5 West, where, and like the Guess the Banzuke game that Kintama Yama does, that just counts as a miss because I didn't have him at the correct numbered rank. So even though Mac and I, technically we had him off by
1 rank,
by 1 order, by 1 in the order of things. Since Mac has him at the correct rank, he gets a bit more credit if we were doing like the Guess the Banzuke game. But Jake, I will be perfectly happy to take that lifeline and say, yeah, Mac and I missed him by the same amount.
According to the way that we score it, and we kind of created this system just independently so that we could track your performance basho to basho as opposed to any sort of competitive scoring. Regardless, the way that our calculation works, it doesn't make a difference, but whatever.
Yeah. But still a little surprising to see a 5 and 10 Rikishi only drop down 2 ranks. So let's go to Maegashira East. We're on Maegashira 6. We're on the east side. We will have Takayasu. Say it with me now. He had a 10 and 5 record, so how many ranks did he jump? That is correct. 7 ranks up from Maegashira 13 for Takayasu. And on the west side, we are going to have Kagayaki, another 5 and 10 Rikishi, dropping only 2 ranks. It boils my blood. It does.
Really bakes your beans.
Yeah, especially because it's Kagayaki, and I just don't like him, and would have liked to see him down further. Oh, maybe like Maegashira 8, maybe where I predicted him to go.
Something like that.
Yeah,
and I just had the order flipped again. So I just had Kagayaki and Takayasu in the wrong spot, but same rank.
Max Computer shining again. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I start kicking the computer's ass as we get further down the Banzuke.
Yeah, no. Further down, I didn't have enough vision control. The river, it was bad.
Yeah, Max just making sure to get the gloating in while he can.
Right around the top. That's where it shines. Just don't look at the bottom.
At the Maegashira 7 rank on the east side, we're going to have Ryuden, where I kind of expected him, even though he had a losing record, I expected him to stay at the Maegashira 6 West rank because, as I've mentioned, like, we're pulling people up too far. We're dropping people down too low. So having that person with a 7 and 8 record is a nice little spot where you can just kind of like pause things and let them self-correct a little bit. They didn't take the opportunity to do that. So Ryuden drops down 1/2 rank for him, going at Maegashira 7 East. And at Maegashira 7 West, we have Aoyama. And so somehow, some way, I haven't dissected both of their schedules, but Jake, why don't you compare who Kagayaki faced versus Aoyama? I want to see like Sanyaku schedule, who they fought, and if it's pretty comparable, which it should be. But those two were both Maegashira 4. They both had 5 and 10 records, but Kagayaki dropped to Maegashira 6 West and Aoyama dropped to Maegashira 7 West. So I want to know what made Aoyama's 5 and 10 that much worse, where we had to drop him further than Kageyaki because Ryuden's in between them. I think it just makes more logical sense to leave Ryuden where he's at, drop them both down 3 ranks, and bing bang zoom, you've got a properly ranked set of Rikishi.
Yeah, I've done a lot of calculation on this particular one, and it looks like
I like that. The official term.
Their opponents are pretty much the same, just different orders. And yeah, I have no idea. Like you said, Ryuden staying in one spot would have made this a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, just another case of me knowing more than the Banzuke committee.
Clearly.
So I will note Kageyaki at Maegashira 6 West. I had him at Maegashira 8 East. That is tied for one of my biggest misses on this Banzuke. Let's move to the Maegashira 8 rank. We're on the east side. We'll have Tokushoryu just dropping 1 rank after his 7 and 8 record. And we will have Wakataka Kage, who had a 10 and 5 record. So what was his jump?
6 ranks.
That's right, Jake. You should have said 7 to make me feel better. But yeah, it was only 6 for Wakataka Kage with his 10 and 5 record. If they had listened to me and given him the 7 rank jump that he deserved, I wouldn't have missed him. Also, like tied with a rank and a half, like Kageyaki. Once again, just a big whiff on the part of the Banzuke committee, not jumping Wakataka Kage up 7 ranks with the rest of his 10 and 5 brethren. Maegashira 9 on the east side. We will have Enho dropping 3 ranks after a 5 and 10 record. So still not as much as you'd usually expect, but a bit more palatable than Takeda Fuji and Kageyaki's 2 after their 5 and 10 records. And on the west side, here's another kind of big surprise for me, and another thing where I think they're really giving preferential treatment to the Rikishi that were in the Joy. But Oh No Show, after a 2 and 13 record, only dropping 7 ranks to Maegashira 9 West. And so him, along with Wakataka Kage and Kageyaki, are the 3 guys that I missed by a rank and a half. Everybody else after this point was closer than that for my predictions. But yeah, 2 and 13, I thought he was going to go at Maegashira 11, and honestly, he could have dropped even further than that. So I'm really surprised to see Oh No Show still in the single-digit Maegashira ranks after a 2 and 13 record.
Yeah, the 2 and 13, that wasn't even like any absences or anything. He fought all 13 of those losses.
Yeah,
right.
Where did the computer have Oh No Show, Mac?
Computer had him at, so my prediction for that,
you had him at 10 East.
10
so you're
East.
only a half a rank off. Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Computer's still doing pretty good. But let's move down to the bottom of the Banzuke.
Don't look at this.
We'll start at Maegashira.
don't look.
We'll start at Maegashira 10. On the east side, you will have Sada no Umi, who is jumping up 2 ranks after his 8 and 7 record, and you will have Koto Shogiku, another 10 and 5 guy. But I guess the 10 and 5, so this is where I was talking about, like, the guys higher up the Banzuke got a little bit more preferential treatment, because the guys higher up the Banzuke that had a 10 and 5 record, they jumped up 7 ranks. Whereas the bottom 2 guys with 10 and 5 records, Wakataka Kage and Koto Shogiku, they only jumped up 6 ranks. So Koto Shogiku from Maegashira 16 to Maegashira 10 after a 10 and 5 record.
I don't know if you could hear it on there. Sorry to change the topic real quick. I don't know if you could hear it on the microphone, but my wife is doing a bunch of cooking right now, and she came in here, and I had to do my husbandly duty and open like 2 jars.
Nice. I was like, what was that popping?
Yeah, that did come through a little bit. So hopefully everybody else will be able to hear your manly strength.
Yes, my epic forearms are just bulging with what could be muscle.
Katie loosened it, of course. Katie loosened the lid.
Yeah. Moving on.
Oh yeah, Sumo. Let's talk about that some more.
Yeah. The Maegashira 11 rank on the east side, we will have Chiyo Tairyu, who will be dropping 3 ranks after a 6 and 9 record. Whew, that's nice. We got somebody dropping the proper amount for their record. 3 ranks after a 6 and 9. That's nice. And then we'll have Koto Shogiku on the west side, who will be jumping up 3 ranks after an 8 and 7 record. And Koto Shogiku is my first perfect prediction, unfortunately, since the Maegashira 3 West rank of Terutsu Yoshi.
Wow.
Like I said, everybody was fairly close to where they actually ended up. But this time I was just off a little bit. Couldn't get that string of like perfect predictions through to like Maegashira 7 or 8, which I have a tendency of doing, I will point out. Wasn't able to pull it off this time, but I do clean it up in the back half a little bit more. Not a ton of perfect predictions, not as many as I'd like, but there are a few smattered in here. And then at the Maegashira 12 rank on the east side, we will have Koto Shoho jumping up 3 ranks after his 8-7 record. And that's going to be a career high for Koto Shoho, as this will be his second career basho in the Makuuchi division. And at Maegashira 12 West, we will have Kaisei, who is dropping 2 ranks after his 6-9 record. We will go to Maegashira 13 on the east side. We have our first promotee from Juryo. We have Meisei. Exactly where I thought he would be at Maegashira 13 East. And we will have Ishiura on the west side. He is going to be dropping, looks like only 5 ranks after his 4-11 record. Kind of expect those guys usually drop down like more 6 or 7 ranks, something like that. So maybe a little bit of a benefit for Ishiura here. And actually, once we get to the end, remind me to mention Ishiura again, and I will bring up something that I just saw and find interesting.
Okay.
Before that,
Jake's like, fine.
We will go to Maegashira 14 on the east side. We have somebody making his Makuuchi debut coming up from the Juryo division. We will have Tobi Zaru, who will be coming up for the first time. And at Maegashira 14 West, we will have Abi, who is dropping down from the Maegashira 5 rank, a 9 rank drop for Abi after his 3-12 record. So, like, we compare Abi had a 9 rank drop after 3-12. Onosho had a 7 rank drop after a 2-13.
Yeah, hey.
I don't quite get that one.
Wait a second. Maybe they're just being like overly mean because Abi was like a discipline issue and not a trying sumo and just not doing good.
That could have
that wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
No.
Just the kind of pettiness that we kind of expect from the from the
sumo deliberation. Like, nope, and then you're done.
Even compare that to Ishiura, who only had 1 more win than Abi, a 4-11. He only dropped 5 ranks, whereas Abi dropped 9 with just 1 more loss. So yeah, I think they're kind of sticking it to Abi, and we're just going to continue to see Abi fall, as we will not be seeing Abi for the next 3 basho. He is going to end up in the Makushita division as punishment for going out during these COVID times.
His dumbassery.
His sheer dumbassery. Let's move on from Abi, thankfully, to the Maegashira 15 side. On the east side, we will have Shima no Umi there, who is dropping 4 ranks after a 5-10 record. A nice proper drop for somebody with a 5-10 record. And we will have Shohozan dropping only, 3 ranks after a 5-10 record. Maegashira 15 West Shohozan. But that one is okay because I predicted that one exactly.
Same here.
That one is allowed. Ooh, congratulations.
That is so strange that you guys both got that one perfect.
Well, it's okay because I got the next one perfect as well, predicting that Kyoku Taisei would be at the Maegashira 16 East rank. Mac, tell me, where did the computer have Kyoku Taisei?
Insufficient data. Construct additional pylons. Construct additional pylons.
Didn't even have him coming up to the division.
No, I didn't. No, according to the computer, he shouldn't have made it up that high.
Gotcha. This is sometimes where a little bit of man beats the computer.
Well, in this case, yes, but don't worry, the computer learns.
Yeah, all 3 guys at the bottom here are potentially. I mean, they're all kind of surprising. I mean, yeah.
Only
Ryan
one of them is
right.
surprising to me.
Yeah, but still, I think that all 3 of these are very high potential to guess wrong kind of picks.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. So to continue out the remaining couple people Jake is talking about, Maegashira 16 on the west side. We've been talking about him since he debuted in sumo wrestling. Finally making his Makuuchi debut is Hoshoryu, his career high, his division debut. Very excited to see what Hoshoryu can do in the top division after his 10-5 record from, I believe, Juryo 6, or was he Juryo 5 last
6
time?
East.
6 East.
Juryo
Yep.
6 East. All right.
The nephew of Asashoryu, because I have to bring it up every time. I think it's so cool.
Good man.
Well, and after this basho, a lot more people are going to know about him, so we probably won't need to specifically mention that every single time.
Oh, Asashoryu? Isn't he Hoshoryu's uncle?
You don't say.
Hopefully he does well enough that that's how people remember Asashoryu. It's like, oh yeah, he's that Yokozuna. He did all right, I guess, but I guess he's more famous for being Hoshoryu's uncle because, my God, Hoshoryu and his 75 Yusho.
Wow.
75? Isn't that like 15 years or something?
Well,
Jeez.
in order to make Asashoryu like just he's just this guy's uncle. He's this famous guy's uncle. He has to far exceed what Asashoryu did to make people not remember him for the Rikishi he was.
Yeah, and Asashoryu, his career was even cut quite short while he was still in his prime, and he still got just a jillion Yusho.
Yeah,
I think he had an even denser top of the a denser peak of Yusho than even Hakuho did. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Whatever.
Hakuho won 7 straight at one point. I think Asashoryu won 6 in a row. He won all 6 in a calendar year.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
But I believe Hakuho did the same because I think Hakuho won 7 in a row at some point. Jake, do some research.
I'm pretty positive. I'm gonna confirm it here, but I'm gonna just talk out my butt real quick first. I think Hakuho has never done it in a year, but I'm pretty sure he did have a streak that was just as long. Yeah, here it is. 7 of them in 2010 and 11, but never the full calendar year. I'm pretty sure Asashori is the only one to do that.
Yep.
All right, Hakuho, step it up. Come on. You may be the greatest in the ring, but come on. Step it up.
We'll get to this in our preview episode, but I don't think we're going to see Hakuho in this basho.
Yeah.
Maegashira 17 East, our final Rikishi to complete our Makuuchi 42. This one's the biggest surprise for me, literally
also,
and figuratively.
Biggest.
Yeah. Ichi Nojo is back in the Makuuchi division, jumping up 7 ranks after his 6-9 record from Juryo 6.
9-6.
I said what I said. Like I said, it's very surprising.
It's so surprising he got his order reversed.
Yeah.
My God. Ryan, get it together.
Seriously, man.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest surprise for me. And so I want to kind of bring this back to like Ishiura. We kind of talked about the discrepancy in drops for the different Rikishi with like Abi versus Ishiura versus Onosho. But somebody that we haven't mentioned yet was Ikiyoi, who had a 3-12 record from Maegashira 9. And Ikiyoi is getting dropped down to Juryo in favor of Ichi Nojo. So why does Ikiyoi have to drop 8 ranks for one more loss than Ishiura, who dropped 5 ranks with a 4-11 record, when Ikiyoi was only Maegashira 9 and Ishiura was Maegashira 8? I don't understand the discrepancy in their drops. I understand Ikiyoi had more losses, but it was only 1 more. So why is he dropping 3 more ranks? That just seems weird to me, especially to bring up Ichi Nojo 7 ranks after just a 9-6 record. When I was complaining about 10-5 guys being brought up 7 ranks, that's the biggest head scratcher, and I that just doesn't make sense to me. I can't justify that one.
Ikiyoi needs to heal. He has to go down to Juryo so that he can just rest, get the best types of tape that money can buy, and completely heal some of his broken bones. So you need Ichi Nojo to come back up to the top ranks and potentially rise higher. But no, Ikiyoi will be back.
Yeah, Juryo isn't exactly vacation, even for somebody as experienced as Ikiyoi. But that's a good point. He may have slightly softer matchups, and he'll probably face somebody in the top division anyways as a crossover. But I don't know. I'm definitely with you, Ryan. Like it seems very strange to me.
It's not consistent.
Yeah, even within the same Banzuke, it like one basho to the next. Yeah, sometimes you might see some weird stuff go on, but like even within this one Banzuke, Ikiyoi and Ichi Nojo makes no sense to me. I'm with you. You got me convinced.
Yeah. But technically, based on our scoring system, Ichinojo is my biggest miss because we give him, like, if I miss somebody coming up from Juryo, we give like 5 points added onto my score at the end. Realistically, I would have had Ichinojo probably as like your top ranked 1 or 2 Juryo guy, so it would have been a miss of like 1 or 2 on him. What I think I'm going to do in the future is I'm just going to go ahead and predict the top of Juryo so that we don't have that confusion in the future. We can properly score.
You're not
those
getting
things.
out of your extra points.
No, I earned them. I don't deny that. So along with Ikioi, we had 4 other guys drop down from the Makuuchi division to make way for the 5 guys that came up from the Juryo division. So those 5 that are dropping: Ikioi, Koto no Waka, who had a 4-11 record from Maegashira 13. We had Chiyomaru, who had a 4-11 record from Maegashira 15. We had Nishikigi, who had a 6-9 record from Maegashira 16, and Koto Yuki, who had a 6-9 record from Maegashira 17. So how did I do overall? This is probably one of my worst predictions, since it looks like the January prediction. I got 16 bullseyes out of a possible 42. So that's exact right rank, exact right side of the Banzuke. And that's only 38%. And my previous best for exact right rank on the exact right side is 72%. So a drastic drop this time for me. And then I had 4 additional Rikishi that were at the correct rank, but on the wrong side. So I had 20 Rikishi at the correct rank for 48%. And getting below 50% on that really hurts my feelings, and I'm very upset.
For the
that.
record, we have been tracking Ryan's performance since Kyushu of 2018, and on the current trend line, we would have expected. So we have an average error of 1.05. That's the average number of ranks off that Ryan is. We would have expected him to be at about 0.6 ranks. So I think a jump like that definitely implies there's more than just Ryan's skill going into this one. Kind of just the fact that it's that screwy of a Banzuke certainly made this a bit of an outlier on the current trend that he's got going.
Yeah, and I mentioned the Guess the Banzuke game earlier, and I got a note from Leonard at Tachiai, my Banzuke sensei, who told me that the high score for the Guess the Banzuke game for this particular Banzuke was the lowest high score ever.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this was a particularly surprising result for this Banzuke, I think, for everybody, just to see some of these guys drop as little as they did. I'm not necessarily against the people who jumped up as far as they did, because I actually got most of those. I mean, like I said, I wasn't very far off with any of these people. It's just a lot of small things that we usually don't see just kind of adding up. There was, like, I didn't miss anybody by 8 or 7 ranks like I've done in the past. Like I said, the biggest ones that I missed were 3 guys off by 3, which is just a rank and a half. It's just a bunch of little surprising decisions that just kind of added up throughout the entirety of the Banzuke. But let's give some credit to Mac and his computer. Going through their stats, it does look like they got 17 bullseyes out of a possible 42.
Yeah.
So 40%, one more than I did. And they had an additional 8 Rikishi at the correct rank, but the wrong side, for a total of 25 and 60% total of the Rikishi. So got to give props to Mac's computer there. It looks like he might have found a winning formula, quite a bit better than the first time he did this. So
I could only go up from there.
It could be a very scary machine, just as it gathers more data and gets more accurate. We'll see how close Mac's computer can get to predicting a perfect Banzuke.
Hey, real quick,
It's learning.
Yeah, it's learning. If you take away the penalties for getting the Juryo crossovers wrong, your guys' score, instead of 44 to 53 in favor of Ryan having the lower number of misses, it would instead be 38 to 39 in favor of Mac.
Yeah, but how?
So it sounds like, I'm by all means, Ryan, you did do better on this one. But what I'm getting at is, if Mac can nail down the Juryo crossover, he's right in line with where you're at.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, but
I caught
that's a big thing that we're kind of just ignoring there.
Oh, Ryan. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait.
Just saying,
My computer will learn.
if he can nail it down, that's a scary computer.
Yeah, no kidding. I have a little bit of fear.
Just a little.
my formulas.
Ryan's Banzuke butt is a little bit more clenched.
Yeah.
A pucker moment, if you will.
Yeah. So our predictions aside, let's just go over some of the stats from this Banzuke. So our biggest jumpers on this one, obviously going to be Terano Fuji with that monstrous 16 rank jump from Maegashira 17 to Maegashira
No
1.
kidding.
I remember when we were going over the March Banzuke after Tokushoryu's January win, saying, like, I don't think we're ever going to top his 15 rank jump from Maegashira 17 to Maegashira 2. And here we are, 2 Basho later, surpassing that. So I will definitively say, I don't think we will ever see a larger jump than Maegashira 17 to Maegashira 1, a 16 rank jump. I don't see it happening.
Guarantee you.
Now prove me wrong, Hoshoryu. Jump up to Sekiwake from Maegashira 16.
100% lock right now. Ichinojo 15-0 Komusubi.
Trying to think if I would be okay with 3 Maegashira.
It could happen. That's what's scary.
That would be a fun basho, and everybody would love that. But then also 3 consecutive Maegashira, or not consecutive, but 3 Maegashira 17s in 1 year.
Out of 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
2020. Seriously, what the hell?
It would be just classic 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then behind Terano Fuji for the largest jumps up the Banzuke, we have our 10 and 5 guys that got 7. Not all the 10 and 5 guys, Wakataka Kage and Koto Shogiku aren't included in this list, but Tamawashi, Miyogiryu, Tochinoshin, Takayasu, Hoshoryu all got 7 rank jumps after a 10 and 5 record. Our biggest droppers are going to be Ikioi with that 8 rank drop from Maegashira 9 to Juryo 1, and Onosho. Oh, I forgot about Abi. So Abi also is the top guy with 9 after his drop from Maegashira 5 to Maegashira 14, and Onosho had a 7 rank drop from Maegashira 2 to Maegashira 9. We have 7 Rikshi that will be at their career high. Daisho at Sekiwake, Takanosho at Maegashira 1, Teretsuyoshi at Maegashira 3, Wakataka Kage at Maegashira 8, Koto Shoho at Maegashira 12, Tobizaru at Maegashira 14, his Makuuchi debut, and Hoshoryu at Maegashira 16, his Makuuchi debut. So the snub of the Banzuke, didn't have time to like go through and say like my candidates. Like I said, underprepared for this episode, and this episode's actually probably going to go longer than all the rest because of it.
It's Mac and his damn computer. Us more to talk about.
Yeah. Hey! Don't blame my computer.
Watch me.
I think
fine.
The snub of the Banzuke is going to be Ikioi for
Agreed.
me. It doesn't make sense that there's no reason for Ichinojo to be in the top division after a 9 and 6 record from Juryo 6. There's no reason.
It just didn't fit. No.
The only thing I can think of is something similar to Terano Fuji, where saying, he's kind of getting the benefit of the doubt, like he belongs up there, so they're just pushing him maybe a little bit further up than he deserves because that's where they think he belongs. Maybe that's what they're doing with Ichinojo. They think Ikioi can't hack it anymore. He's old. He's on his way out. Let's help him out the door a little bit. Ichinojo is still young. He deserves to be in Makuuchi at his best, so let's help him out a little bit and get him up there a little sooner. Maybe that's the reasoning they're thinking of, but other than that, I can't think of why you would have Ikioi out of the Makuuchi division based on the results from Juryo. So snub of the Banzuke is Ikioi, and the luck of the Banzuke, I'm going to give that to Takara Fuji and Kageyaki dropping 2 ranks after 5 and 10 records. I don't think we've seen such a small drop since we've been covering the Banzukes. So I'm going to give those guys a shared luck of the Banzuke win for those 2.
Aoyama up there in that group as well, but
Aoyama dropped 3.
He did drop 3, but his drop is only half a rank more just because of where those guys started out.
True,
so like the total number of ranks, he's in that group. But yeah, Takara Fuji and Kageyaki tying for the single weirdest one.
Yes. And so Jake had to predict what my worst prediction would be. And so he said that the Juryo crossover would be the hardest. And we could, since I missed one of the Juryo crossovers, we'll give that to Jake.
I did re-listen to it because I couldn't remember the specifics. So I only get half credit for this because I did say that it would be somewhere in the Juryo crossover. But I
you
did
thought it was
specifically...
Hoshoryu.
Exactly. I Ichinojo wasn't even in the discussion when we were predicting this.
No.
So I thought Hoshoryu would be the guy to get snubbed. And I pulled a sadness hedge where I'm like, if Hoshoryu does get snubbed, then I win the bet. But if he doesn't get snubbed, then I'm happy because he's in the top division.
Yep.
So I don't know, whatever. I get a little bit of credit, but not much.
Yeah. Well, I think the reward for you was a high five. So I'll give you a virtual thumbs up. You don't quite get the virtual high five, but you'll get a virtual thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll treasure it anyways.
Take it.
So last thing I wanted to do was give a shout out to MrJWags, friend of the show, and probably
we love you, JWags.
Probably the best English language sumo musician that I'm aware of. But
how many are there? Do we know of any
he
more?
is the best one of the ones that I can name right now.
We should get Fleric to be some competition for him. I think that might be something we could. No, I don't think Fleric would do that.
No.
The problem is Fleric would have to put in effort, and since we know that he won't listen to this episode, I'm comfortable saying on the record.
Yeah, we can barely get him to come on the show. Remember, he follows up with all of his like, okay, what day are we on? Fleric, it's day 15. It is Fleric.
Well, I've got 13 days to watch.
It's what makes him him, and that's what we love about him.
That is
But
true.
no, I wanted to give a shout out to MrJWags because I won a YouTube contest on his channel recently, which means if you keep listening after our boring outro thing, you will hear the best song, in my opinion, that he has put out so far about Haruma Fuji. And also on his next episode, I got to pick the flannel that MrJWags wears for his recording.
Ooh,
so
stay tuned.
He's going to wear that bitchin' yellow one that he wore in some of the earlier episodes.
Nice.
All
right. So if you enjoy this podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
I guess I'll do Fleric's part where Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and our blog
you usually
are all
do.
Cool things. Oh, yeah, I did my thing. Email time.
Did you not do the blog? You got to do the blog.
I said blog. I just didn't say what it was.
Oh, well, fine. All right, fine. Jeez. All right. My computer. I'm working on my computer. Shut up. All right. If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO. Back to my computer.
And so we have the Aki Basho starting on Sunday, September 13th. I believe if it's starting tomorrow, Sunday, we're in trouble. But I'm pretty sure it's the 13th. Between now and then, you should be getting 2 more episodes out of us. We're finally going to be delivering on the comparison between our Not So Basho simulation and the July tournament that occurred based on the same Banzuke, and we will also have our preview for the Aki Basho. So stay tuned for both of those episodes in the coming week.
And check out MrJWags' channel on YouTube. The song that we're going to be playing for our credits here is The Dohyo, episode 12, aka The Shadow of Hakuho, episode 3.
A Man Called Ama.
Born in the valley of Ulaanbaatar, he wanted to fight like his father before, so he packed for Japan, said goodbye to his mama, and became a Yokozuna for the Isakahama.